welcome back. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, I believe you can create your own future. Realistically, we all create our own future by the actions we take or the actions that we don't take. So let me show you some actions to take that could help you out and create a much better future for you. Now, today's episode, I'll be discussing, is working from home the future? It can be if you want it to be. So before we start, we need to discuss the challenges of working from home. That can be a huge challenge. Let's start out by asking, what skills do you have? Now, many of those skills can be adapted to working from home or from a small office. So if you can take advantage of that, you might just want to do that. Now, according to the Small Business Administration, that's called the SBA, which was created by the Congress of the United States, over 600,000 businesses started last year. Now, many of those businesses started from home offices. Many started from little storefront offices. Now, the Small Business Administration was founded by the Congress of the United States, and why did they found it? It was there to educate small business people and to loan them money. So they have a lot of numbers that they keep track of. So the numbers are pretty darn revealing. For example, the records show for every 100 startups of small business, 80% of those startups will fail in the first 5 years. Now think about that, 80% will fail. Now the remaining 20% that survived, according to the Small Business Administration, well, they also have a high failure rate during that second 5 years. And that failure rate, again, is 80% during the next 5 years. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that there's a lot of reasons businesses fail. They're just keeping track of how many are failing. The point is, in a 10-year period of time, 80% in the first year, and then 80% of the survivors, they're going to fail. The point I'm making is there's a 96% failure rate for small business. So if you have a nice secure job and you want to keep it, well, I understand that. But most entrepreneurs don't think that way. They want to go out and remake the world. So what are we talking about today? Is working from home the future? Working from home can really eliminate a lot of the risk. So how do you eliminate risk? Well, some of the time you can just not have to pay rent, and a lot of expenses is going to eliminate risk. Secondly, what does a big office cost? It's important to keep in mind, you have to drive to that office. That means you have to have an automobile. That's a big cost. What about gasoline? What about repairs and maintenance? What about traffic delays? What about the timing that you use up? So if you had your home office, that could make a difference, especially if you were working for yourself, because those hours could now become productive. The question I'm answering today is working from home the future? Now, many customer service jobs can easily be done working at home. However, other jobs that are more measurable and less repetitious, well, they might have to be done in the office. Many businesses prefer to have their employees at home. Why? Because they don't have to spend as much money for office space, and they don't have to spend as much money for benefits if the people are independent contractors. Well, real estate brokers are a good example. They need an office so they can sign documents, so they can have meetings, but do the brokers spend a lot of time in the office? No, they're out showing property, okay? What about the agents? The agents could easily use telecommuting and work from home. So there's a perfect example that you could have a home office. So today's business no longer runs 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. It's not the way it happened. Sometimes it seems you're working 24/7. Why? Because of the cell phone and the internet. All right, so the cell phone eliminates a lot of need for an office, but it also puts you on notice that you're going to be working from home in a lot of unusual times. Okay, so let's have some examples of working at home and how you could be making money. So 30 years ago, I discovered a business that was little known. However, it was quite lucrative. Now, what was that business all about? Well, it was a subset of real estate, but most people had never investigated it. It had been around for 200 years, and when I discovered it, it was all new to me. Now, the business was just a very small part of the traditional real estate. Now, it was not a pretty business. There was nothing glamorous about it. However, it was mandated and it was administered by the local county governments and the state legislature. So the legislature in all 50 states makes the rules that we have to follow within the state that we live. Now, they mandate that the local county have rules. And one of the rules the county has is that they must collect property taxes. So I discovered that nationwide, many people don't pay their property tax. They default on the property tax. So what is the county going to do? Well, the county has already been given an authorization, and they are mandated to, number one, levy the tax on the property, and they're mandated to collect the tax. And if they can't collect the tax, they confiscate, they seize the property, and then they resell it at auction. Now, when they resell it at auction, they absolutely cancel, they wipe out, they eliminate the mortgage or the deed of trust loan. So these properties are sold for huge discounts, and they have no mortgage on the property. All right, so how does it work? Well, first of all, a property owner failed to pay their property tax. All right, so they've failed on their obligation. They'll be given many notices of default. The county is mandated by the legislature to collect the tax because they have to pay the school teachers, the firefighters, they have to pay the police, they have to pay the sheriff, they have to pay the county employees. I'm sure you get the idea. County has a lot of bills to pay. Property tax is how they pay those bills. So the state legislature and the county have mandated that you will pay property tax. However, some people fail to pay. So those properties are confiscated, and what happens to those properties? Well, those properties are sold at auction with a starting bid of the back taxes. That simply means that the property could be discounted 60%, 70%, 80% discounts on those properties. People are buying these properties at auction for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. They are always sold at a public auction, and the highest bidder will get the property. All right, now I didn't make the rules, but the rules do say that anybody can attend that auction, and the bidding will start at very close to the back overdue taxes. That could be as low as 5 cents, 10 cents, or 20 cents on the dollar. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to sell for 20 cents. It means the highest bidder will get it, and they'll get a property without a mortgage. All right, now the county only wants revenue from taxes. So what they're going to do is they're going to sell it for close to the back taxes, and when they sell it for that, now they've got the money for the taxes. Now the property will go back and it'll have a new owner. All right, now this situation is going on in over 3,000 counties across this nation. 3,000 counties. That means there's probably going to be more than 5,000 actual auctions this year. So this is going to be a big deal. Now the property auctions are always huge discounts, 60%, 70%, 80%, and the properties are sold with no mortgage. Now, from a home office, you could be doing this. How could you do that? Well, first of all, there's the internet. The internet will attach it to satellites. The Wi-Fi systems will open up communications for you. The point is, you can access all the county records, you can evaluate properties, you can look at properties on your laptop computer. Think about that. A business you could be doing from home, and you could be buying for pennies on the dollar, 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, and then you can be reselling for whatever price you wanted. So if the market was $100,000 for that property and you sold it for $60,000, so what? As long as you bought it for something less than that, you would be able to make money. So I've been doing this for 30 years. Everything when I started was manual. In other words, you had to drive to the county to get the list. Now you can do that electronically. You couldn't check out a property unless you drove there. Now you can do it online. You can do it on Zillow. You can do it on MLS. You can do it on Google Maps. There's so many ways to look at properties and evaluate and research them now that you're going to have to learn how to be a pretty good researcher. All right. So auctions in different states are completely accessible to your home office. Before, we had to drive to the airport, fly to that state, then drive to the property. No more. Now you can do all of that access right from your property. So the savvy investors work from a home office, and they purchase at low prices, and then they generate large profits because they don't have a lot of expenses. Does that make a lot of sense? Well, I hope it does. Now, my name is Ted Thomas, and right below me there's a free gift. But before you go, I want to mention, if you're going to buy a property, you want to buy the property at the cheapest price possible. All right, you must see the property. You must have boots on the ground. What does that mean? That means you must see it, not have someone else see it, but if you have a trusted source, well, you can have them look at it. But you don't want to buy a property from a picture or an internet overview of it. You need to have boots on the ground. Why? There could have been a fire. There could have been a hurricane. There could have been a windstorm. It might be next to a chicken farm. I don't know what could be wrong with that property, but there might be a lot of things wrong. But with your own eyes, you can see that. So you want boots on the ground. That was number one. Number two, you want to be very careful at auction that you don't get in a bidding war and you keep bidding up. You want to always have an exit strategy. What does that mean? That means you want to know what you're going to sell it for before you buy it. Know what your sales price is before you buy it. Why? So that you won't bid up and you'll have plenty of room for margin. We're trying to buy at 10 and 20 cents on the dollar, maybe sell for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar and make money quickly. I'm Ted Thomas. I'll see you in the next video.